You're listening to Mr. Credit on San Diego 1700 with local credit expert Derek Evans. Now, live in studio, Mr. Credit.
Welcome to Mr. Credit. We are live and local here in San Diego and Moreno Valley. This is the most important hour on radio in the land. Visit MrCreditRadio.com if you want to send me emails. I'm going to be getting to some of your emails here in just a second. If you're a Facebooker, just do a search for Mr. Credit and you will find me there. Today I'm going to start with a confession of sorts. Apparently, unbeknownst to me, I've been breaking the law every day for the past 3 or 4 weeks. Now, I wouldn't have done that on purpose, but I just got a letter in the mail yesterday from the California Department of Motor Vehicles saying that my license has been suspended. Why, you ask? Well, I have the same question. Of course, you can't reach anyone at the Department of Motor Vehicles, and if you go there, there's a line about 200 or 300 people long. But the gist of the information that I received in the mail was that I apparently got pulled over in November, which I don't recall, and had a fine issued to me, and then I did not pay it. Now, the reason I bring this up, I didn't receive anything. I did not receive anything. This happens to people with collections all the time, where all of a sudden it just, boom, shows up on your credit, and you have no idea what it is. Now, the way I'm going to handle this is the exact same way that you would want to handle the situation if it were for a collection. Now, I can't begin to tell you how infuriated I am, but the bottom line is that they're saying I owe $761. So today, after the show, I'm going to go to the DMV. I'm going to stand in line for 2 hours probably, and I'm going to pay them. I'm going to pay them $760-some because I need to get my license reinstated. Now, this is not how you would handle it if the item had already gone to collections. What you would do is, if you get a letter saying that something is about to be put on your credit report as a collection, then you actually want to go ahead and pay it before it goes to your credit report. Remember, once the collection goes to your credit report, all the damage has been done. There's nothing you can do unless you get it removed. It doesn't matter if you pay it or not. It doesn't matter if the balance is $0. It doesn't matter if the balance is $1 or $1 million. Once the collection, the action of that collection, hits your credit report, all the damage is done. So you need to be preventative with it. If you get a letter in the mail saying, hey, you owe this money or we're going to send you to collections, then you need to pay it. The reason that's pertinent in this case is because the city, actually this isn't the city, the state of California uses a company here in San Diego for all of its local issues. It's a collection company called Alliance One. I got a letter from Alliance One back in January that said that I needed to go to court for some reason. I called them and they said, no, you don't owe anything. It was a mistake. We apologize, you don't owe us any money. And that was the end of it. So I thought nothing of it. However, when I got that letter, the letter said, you owe this money, we're going to send you to collections if you don't pay it. My intention was to go and pay it and then fight it later. You have to pay it, keep it from going on your credit report, and then you fight it later. If you just let them report it, then they're winning both ways because you technically owe the money and your credit score is going to go down. So, for the past 3+ weeks, I've been driving with a suspended license. I could have been arrested for this, and I have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. This is what the letter says literally. Your driving privileges suspended as of March 27, 2010. This action is being taken under the authority of the section, blah, blah, blah. Suspension will remain in effect until all failures to appear have been removed from your record. So what I need to do is I need to go and I need to pay this, get my driver's license reinstated, and then I'm going to have to fight it afterward. And that's very similar to what you would do if you got a letter like this that was about a collection, which is exactly what I was going to do with the letter from Alliance One, but they told me I didn't owe them anything. And I actually went on the blog, MrCreditRadio.com. If you click on the educational videos, I actually did a video about this and said it was a scam. I mean, I've never, because it is a scam. There's a scam that exists out there with collection companies where they tell you you owe the money, and they want you to just send it in. If you call them and ask them about it, they'll tell you you don't owe the money. That's the oldest collection scam in the book. And that's exactly what I thought it was. Because I called them, willing to pay. I merely inquired what it was for, and they said, you don't owe anything. Don't worry about it. We're deleting it right now. We're canceling it. I took down the person's name, employee number, everything you're supposed to do. If you go to MrCreditRadio.com, click on the educational videos, search under collections, you'll be able to find that video. I was livid because they thought that I would fall to that, but you know what? I was going to pay it and fight it later because I know that that's what would have been best for my credit score. And I see this all the time. In fact, got an email yesterday that I want to read to you. This was from Jen in Del Mar. She said, I had my Nordstrom card stolen by my ex-husband. He maxed the card out and then never paid it. It's up to almost $8,000 now that they've added fees. What should I do? Is this affecting my credit score? Well, of course it is. Of course it's affecting your credit score. And if they've added fees, then that means that it has gone to collections, which means that you have a Class 9 item on your credit report, the most damaging item that exists. The most damaging item you could have in your credit report is a collection. And you definitely have one if they're adding fees to it. Now, what you should have done, Jen, and hindsight's 20/20, but I need you to understand how this stuff works. As soon as the card is stolen, or as soon as you realize that there's charges that have been made that you did not authorize, you immediately have to contact the issuing bank. Not Nordstrom or Macy's themselves, but the actual bank, the name of the bank on the back of the credit card. You need to call them. You need to say, look, my card was stolen. There's probably charges I didn't authorize. As long as that thing has a Visa or MasterCard logo on it, you're going to be protected. They're going to have to prove. The merchant is actually going to have to prove that you signed for it, that you approved it somehow. And if they can't do that, then you'll get credited the money back. So while you may have thought that he was going to make the payments, as soon as you realized that that wasn't the case, you should have taken action. Because you would have gotten those charges cleared, most likely. And it would not have gone to collections. Now, if you had caught it before it went to collections, let's say you noticed he wasn't making payments on it like he was supposed to, maybe 2 or 3 months down the road, then what you would have wanted to do is you would have wanted to start making those payments, but make them in protest. So when you make those payments, you go ahead, you make them, write in the memo line that you're paying in protest. That gives you the opportunity down the road to go in and challenge, or while you're in the process of challenging these charges, you're not going to get hit with the late payments. Because even if they find that you are correct, correcting those late payments takes time, energy, and it's not guaranteed. So you don't want your credit score to be suffering because of something that you didn't even do. And that's exactly what will happen in this situation. Now, people get collection letters all the time. And a lot of people ignore them, especially if they're like, I don't know what this is. Throw it in the trash. You can't do that. If you do that, then it's going to show up on your credit report. Now, the big lie that collection companies make to the average consumer is that if you pay the collection, they'll remove it from your credit report. I've never seen this happen in history, and it's not likely to happen. They tell you that because they're trying to get paid. That's their job. If you're a collection agent, your job is to get the money, and a lot of them will say pretty much anything to get it. So it's important to understand not only how it works, but how it affects your credit and how to protect your credit. Because you might have a perfect credit score, Jen. You might have had it, but you don't now. Not only that, but this collection, this $8,000 collection, they can sue you for it. They can sue you, and they will win, most likely, if it gets to that point, and they'll garnish your wages. So even though you didn't authorize the charges, because you didn't take action that reflected that, you're ultimately going to be responsible, and your credit score is going to suffer. Your paycheck could suffer as well. So it's important to be proactive. When I say that every day regarding credit, you have to be taking action ahead. You don't want to be behind. If you're behind, you're going to get hurt. If you're ahead, you can prevent it. In this case, make sure that anyone who's an authorized user on your credit card is someone, not just someone who you can trust, but someone who is either helping pay the bill or someone who actually pays the bill. And when you notice that something changes, immediately jump on it.